The videos that I'm putting out is a series on money. And here we've got Matthew, the book of Matthew in the New Testament, chapter 19, verses 20 to 26. And here he's been preaching, Jesus has been preaching to the people about keeping commandments. And verse 20 starts out thusly. The young man saith unto him, Jesus, all these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet? Jesus said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. Let me repeat that. Jesus said unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man, and that's a gender neutral term, applies to everybody regardless of gender, a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven. And again, I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. Now let me repeat that verse. And again, I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man, again, gender neutral term, applies to everybody regardless of gender, than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God. When his disciples heard it, they were exceedingly amazed, saying, who then can be saved? But Jesus beheld them and said unto them, with men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Now, some highly degreed, educated scholars of religion will twist these verses and say that the needle that is being mentioned is not really a small little sewing needle, but rather a cryptic term for something else, blah, blah, blah. And the phrase camel going through the eye of a needle was some kind of slang that meant something else. No, it's pretty clear what he's saying here. It means just what it of course is a metaphor. The needle that he's talking about is actually, for the parable, a small little sewing needle. I'm willing to bet that everybody in the world has seen and held a sewing needle. They're barely 2 inches long, and the eye of the needle, so you put the thread through, is so freaking small that you have to wet the end of the. You've seen your mom, your mother, your sister, or if you're a woman, you've done it yourself. If you've ever sewn, you cut the thread, And the width of the thread is just ridiculously small. But even still, you've got to put it in your mouth and wet it and purse your lips and pull the thread out through your lips and basically kind of like make a little point out of the end of the thread. And it takes you many tries doing this to get the thread to pass through the eye of the needle. That's how small the eye of the needle is. And here Jesus is saying that it is easier for a camel, a big ass freaking camel, the kind that people ride on in the desert, that camel, big camel. It's easier for a camel to pass through, to go through the eye of a sewing needle than for a rich person to be saved.